Today we're diving deep into the world of the Nintendo DS. This little handheld console has a special place in the hearts of many gamers, and for good reason. Alright, let's get started and dive into the fascinating history and features of the Nintendo DS. You won't want to miss a single moment of this deep dive. Before it was the DS, Nintendo's handheld had a much more intense name, Project Nitro. The DS stands for dual screen obviously, but Nintendo also called it the developer's system to hype it up. Remember when having two screens on a handheld was mind-blowing? The DS was the first. Plan B Game Boy Advance. Nintendo wasn't entirely sure if the DS would be a hit, so they decided to keep the Game Boy Advance around just in case. The Game Boy Advance had already proven to be a popular and reliable handheld console, beloved by many gamers for its extensive library of games and portability. By maintaining the Game Boy Advance on the market, Nintendo ensured that they had a backup plan. This way, if the DS didn't catch on as expected, they could still rely on the trusted Game Boy Advance to keep their handheld gaming segment strong and thriving. From GameCube to DS, that stylus you used for countless hours? It came from Nintendo's early GameCube touchpad experiments. Blow it up, the DS had a built-in microphone, and yes, some games actually let you blow into it. Before smartphones, there was PictoChat, letting you draw and chat with friends nearby. The DS wasn't just popular, it's the best-selling handheld console ever, with over 154 million units sold. Remember download play? One cartridge, multiple players, the OG game sharing. Notched cartridges. Early DS cartridges had that iconic notch to stop you from putting them in your Game Boy Advance. Double the arcade fun. Those dual screens? They were meant to mimic the feeling of those stacked arcade cabinets. Brain training craze. Brain Age on the DS made brain training a thing, and everyone was suddenly doing Sudoku. Free Wi-Fi? Yes, please. Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection for the DS was free, and online Mario Kart DS was legendary. The slim and sleek DS Lite. The DS Lite came along, slimmed things down, and made the DS even more popular. Hidden GBA Slot. Some DS models had a secret GBA slot so you could still play your old favorites. C-free gaming. The DS was mostly region-free so you could play games from anywhere in the world. Press and play resistive touchscreen. That touchscreen wasn't like your phones, it was resistive so you had to press it. Browsing the web, slowly. Yes, you could browse the internet on the DS with its Opera-based browser. DS in the classroom. In Japan they had DS classroom games for learning math and English. Connecting with the Wii, you could even connect your DS to your Wii for some cross-platform action. Nintendogs, the OG virtual pet. Nintendogs was a massive hit, introducing a lot of people to handheld gaming. A rainbow of colors. The DS Lite came in so many colors, some even limited edition for different regions. Blow into the cartridge? Phantom Hourglass made you blow into the microphone to solve puzzles. Secret alarm clock. Bet you didn't know the DS had a hidden alarm clock feature in the settings. Pokémon on the DS finally let you trade and battle online. Game changer. The DS played GBA games, but not original Game Boy or Game Boy Color games. New Super Mario Bros. Had a whole training mode to teach you the ropes. Cooking Navi, the Digital Cookbook. Nintendo even released a digital cookbook for the DS called Cooking Navi. DS Lite, Battery Life King. The DS Lite's battery life was impressive, lasting up to 19 hours on a single charge. Sleep mode, a gamer's best friend. Close the DS, and it automatically went into sleep mode, pausing your game. Games like Animal Crossing Wild World had seasons that changed in real time. The DS's Wi-Fi wasn't compatible with all modern security settings. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney brought courtroom drama to the DS and became a hit. Nintendo released a special pink ribbon DS Lite to support breast cancer research. The DS was actually the first handheld console to have full three-dimensional graphics. The Professor Layton games and their puzzles became a DS staple. People were learning new languages on the DS with dedicated language learning games. The DS was so popular that it supposedly caused shortages of lithium-ion batteries. Metroid Prime Hunters showed off the DS's potential for touchscreen FPS games. The Nintendo DSi was the first to have a built-in camera and photo editing. The DSi shop let you download games and apps, a first for Nintendo handhelds. WarioWare Touched used practically every single feature the DS had. The DS was so big in Japan that it reportedly helped other industries like tourism. The DS Lite was so slim it was nicknamed the lipstick case in Japan. Stores had DS download stations where you could try demo games. Pokémon Diamond and Pearl used both screens for the map and gameplay. Mario Kart DS let 8 players race with just one cartridge using wireless play. The DSi and DSi XL came with larger screens for those who wanted more real estate. DSi Sound, the music maker. The DSi had a DSi sound app for playing and messing around with music. PictoChat's 4 rooms. PictoChat had 4 chat rooms, A, B, C, and D for all your drawing and messaging needs. Unlocking content with GBA Games. Some DS games unlock content if you put in a GBA game from the same series. They made a limited edition gold DS Lite to celebrate The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. The DS was one of the first Nintendo consoles to introduce parental controls. The Guitar Hero DS games had a special grip that attached to the GBA slot. People were lining up for days to get their hands on the DS Lite in Japan. Wireless play let you play with friends nearby without needing an internet connection. The DS helped bring back point-and-click adventures with games like Hotel Dusk, Pokewalker, Walk to Level Up. Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver had the Pokewalker, a pedometer that leveled up your Pokémon. Touchscreen puzzles. Games like Professor Layton used the touchscreen for unique puzzle mechanics. You could finally voice chat with friends in Pokémon Diamond and Pearl. Only in Japan. A DS game called Face Training for exercising your facial muscles. The World Ends With You, a popular DS game, used the touchscreen and buttons simultaneously, making for a unique dual-screen combat experience. The DS Lite had a hidden brightness adjustment that could be accessed by pressing certain buttons on the main menu. Elite Beat Agents, a rhythm game on DS, became a cult favorite for its quirky storylines and catchy song covers. The DS had a hidden language learning feature, with games like My Spanish Coach and My Japanese Coach becoming bestsellers. Some Nintendo DS games like Mega Man Star Force had online multiplayer before most handheld games supported it. The DS featured a rare accessory called the Nintendo DS Rumble Pack, which added vibration to compatible games. The DS game, Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, was co-developed by BioWare, known for RPGs like Mass Effect. The DS had a unique feature where closing the lid could suspend a game, even in the middle of intense battles. Pokémon Ranger on the DS had players capture Pokémon by drawing circles around them on the touchscreen. The DS's ability to play GBA games led to a huge surge in used Game Boy Advance cartridge sales. The Nintendo DS game library included educational games like Let's Yoga and Let's Pilates. Nintendo developed 100 Classic Book Collection, which turned the DS into a digital e-reader with classic literature. The DS was popular among non-gamers and led to a surprising amount of brain games designed to help with cognitive training. The DS Lite was so thin and light that it became one of the first portable consoles to fit easily into a pants pocket. Nintendo sold stylus packs separately so players could choose different colors or replace lost styluses. The DS game, Hotel Dusk Room 215 inches, had players hold the console sideways, making it resemble a book as they played. The DS featured a stylus calibration tool to make sure the touchscreen remained accurate over time. In Japan, there were DS games dedicated to specific hobbies, such as Flower Arrangement DS and Horse Racing DS. The DS's download play allowed local multiplayer for games like Tetris DS, without requiring every player to own a copy. Animal Crossing Wild World was the first DS game to introduce online multiplayer in the Animal Crossing series. The DSi had an enhanced audio feature that allowed users to speed up or slow down songs they played. A number of DS games like Final Fantasy Tactics A2 featured long, complex storylines, breaking the stereotype of handheld games being short. The DS was the first Nintendo handheld to offer games in 3D graphics, a big leap from the Game Boy Advance's 2D visuals. Rhythm Heaven on DS became popular for its catchy tunes and was produced by the same team behind WarioWare. In some DS games like Spirit Tracks, players had to blow into the microphone to solve puzzles. The DS was used as a menu and controller for special modes in the Wii game Pokémon Battle Revolution. The Nintendo DS had DS wireless play for certain games, which allowed up to 16 players in local multiplayer. Chrono Trigger for DS included a special ending and bonus dungeons that weren't in the original game. The DS camera on the DSi allowed players to scan QR codes in certain games, which was an early use of QR codes in gaming. The DS became popular for indie game development, especially in Japan, where many developers made experimental games for it. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story used both screens to depict separate perspectives, a novel approach for a handheld RPG. Some DS games, like Nintendogs, allowed players to play with each other's virtual pets via local wireless connection. Nintendo DS games were designed to work with all DS models, including the original DS, DS Lite, and DSi. The DS became a popular item for celebrities. Actors like Nicole Kidman were famously pictured playing DS games. The DS's microphone allowed for voice commands in games like Endless Ocean, where players could interact with marine life. Nintendo created special DS systems for testing in harsh environments, including a model used in Antarctica for research teams. The DS's virtual cookbook, Personal Trainer Cooking, had recipes and step-by-step instructions that guided users while cooking. The DS was instrumental in popularizing idle or AFK gameplay, with games like Nintendogs that progressed while closed. A few DS games like Cooking Mama allowed players to use the touchscreen to mimic real-life activities like chopping or stirring. The Nintendo DS received new game releases as recently as 2019 in Japan, even after the 3D Seconds was well established. The DS had a calibration feature to make sure the touchscreen stayed responsive. So there you have it, a whole bunch of useless yet oddly fascinating facts about the Nintendo DS. This little device with its dual screens and innovative touch controls captured the hearts of millions around the world. Hit that subscribe button for more tech-infused nostalgia. We have a lot more in store, from deep dives into other beloved consoles to the latest in gaming technology, and let me know in the comments which DS fact surprised you the most. Was it the hidden features, the rare games, or perhaps the quirky accessories? I love hearing your stories and memories. Until next time, this is Casey signing off. Peace, keep gaming, and keep those memories alive.